I apologize that I haven't been able to do videos because we've been so busy doing so many cool things. You know, that was a great class. Holy moly, that was fun. You guys were really fun. I met so many beautiful souls and beings at that class. Everybody was having fun and in harmony. Good stuff. Trouble is, you guys are getting smart on me, you know, and we might have to start with level 2. That's a trouble. Few of you, you already know a lot, so that's pretty good. I'm real proud of how you guys learn on this site and grow with that and take it on. It's just amazing, the tremendous testimonials that we had there. Many people battling things in the class. A medical doctor had quit her job on site. Incredible, beautiful medical doctor, gets it, knows exactly how to cure people now, and that'll be exciting for her because it's just exciting. When you're a doctor and you have the love in your heart and you're looking to help people, it's got to be real frustrating with the theories wrapped around allopathy when it just doesn't, everything is antagonistic. And when you get into our field, everything flows and fits. Physics, chemistry, everything fits like a glove. And you start understanding how it all works. And that's where you really soar. And if we can tie the physical sciences and our level of understanding and create a great modality, this is what naturopathy really should be. And I'm going to try my hardest. I know that we shot that video with the 2 naturopaths from Canada, the 2 young girls. Pretty neat, you know, to have young people as naturopaths. And they feel inside, they know the truth. And these ladies have really been helping a lot of people and helping other naturopaths to develop themselves into a higher level of healing. Because if you're a naturopath out there, you want to learn this level. This is true naturopathy, the science of nature and how it interacts with the vertebrae. And it's just that simple, you know. But the
cheers, mate.
Yale, mate. Good day. I love that. I have so many cards and beautiful things. Look at this. Look at this. This was going around there. Is that pretty cool or what? You know? May the Morse be with you. That's funny. That was cute. That was really cute. You guys are sweet, sweet, sweet beings. And appreciate all the love. And just all the gifts, some nice Indian shirts, crystals, just beautiful stuff. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So, it's there's so much, and I realize that there's so much for me to cover here to help you guys. It's unbelievable. Now let's talk about a case. Several cases that fit into this level because this is called ascites. And ascites is when you start filling up with fluids. And why would the body start filling up with water or fluids or edema? To understand that, you have to understand the word inflammation. And inflammation is not a disease. Inflammation is your body's immune response to chemistry, foreign chemistry. And foreign chemistry to the human being can be harmonious chemistry to a cat. For an example, meat protein is not in harmony with the Homo sapiens species. It's just the bottom line. We are not meat eaters. We have chosen to do that and eat like more omnivores, but most people are eating more like carnivores. Most omnivores, believe this or not, I mean, we are fixated on dogs and stuff, but most omnivores are not heavy protein eaters. I mean, look at the bears. They're a classic example. And the shocking thing about black bears, they rarely eat meat. So it's amazing. I mean, you can go up to Gatlinburg or go up in the Smoky Mountains. I've done that and talk to the park rangers. Because I've done that. You know, I like information, you know, because it's good stuff to share and to put everything together and to see actually what the species do because there's a lot of misinformation in our academic system. There's just a misinformation, wrong truths, things like that, like the protein myth, the dairy myth, the sugar myth. All of these are myths. The protein, you need protein, your body can't even use protein. So you've got a lot of myths out there that have to be corrected. And who knows how they got instigated, either from the Cattlemen's or the Dairymen's Association. Who knows? Who knows how things enter the worlds in terms of misinformation and stuff. The one I told you about before is how National Geographic set out misinformation, because they started, and it only had one program to it. It was going to be a series on the great carnivores, and it only had one, and it was on the grizzly bear. And the grizzly bear is not a carnivore, so there was misinformation right there. It's an omnivore, and by the time you listen to that and you watch the whole program, well, only 7% of the older bear's diet is protein. 7%. And it's like, that's not a carnivore. So that's the sort of thing and misinformation that's out there, and I think it's time we need to correct that and correct people, so it doesn't keep rolling like a snowball and getting bigger and bigger. People ready to fight over misinformation. I mean, it's funny. It's amazing like that. But when you start filling up with fluid and you come to our level of thinking, we're going to put you on a living, energetic, hydrating, in other words, a high electrolyte diet. And a high electrolyte diet is going to be a high alkaline diet. Alkaline ash foods. It's obvious. And alkaline ash foods are going to be your fruits, your berries, your melons, and your vegetables. And you're going to go on that type of diet. Matter of fact, I just bought a big coconut tree, and I was just paying this. I got a big tree nursery up here, and I was just talking to the guy. He just bought it. And I just met him for the first time, and he said, I just wanted to tell you a good story. My dad had prostate cancer, basically way up there, and found a nutritionist, and he didn't elaborate on that, but he said, my dad's a juicer now. And he says he has no, for what his language was, prostate cancer left. So that's the sort of beauty that our field offers. It offers the remedy of the suffering of man. Not through the concept of diseases and the treatment of those. That's what's locking man deeper into Hellville. It is understanding the rhythm of the physical body, how the physical body works. As a food processor, your body's a chemical food processor. It's all about chemistry. And I won't say it's all about chemistry because that's not true. Chemistry is electrical. And our consciousness is electrical. Yes. Sorry about that. We're fighting the state of California about using traditional uses in herbs. That means that you would have to go after all the herb books, all the gemstone books, because everybody uses traditional uses and talks about what these things were. And some books flatly tell you what they're for. And I've been very, very adamant about man learning the theory of diseases is full of fallacy, and it's killing humans by the tens of thousands, and when you look at it worldwide, by the millions. And it's hundreds of thousands, not tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. When you have what's considered, what they use the word health, which is not appropriate, but when you use the word health in front of your modality, you better not be the top killing machine on the planet. It just doesn't seem to fit. But anyway, when you start looking at the word inflammation, that means the body is responding to chemistry it doesn't like. And the first avenue of response is the mucosa. And that is mucus. That's from the lymphatic system. And mucus is produced particularly in these foreign proteins. Dairy proteins are some of the worst proteins for humans, particularly cow or other species vertebrates milks. And so the protein structures or things are a little different. And human milk is very, very low in protein, less than 1% protein. That's low. So this whole concept of protein and babies are going to grow with all, it needs protein to grow and all this, is just insanity. Holds no validity when you look at the composition of mother's milk. So when you start initiating the inflammatory response, you have several things that happen. You have what they call interleukins. You have histamines, which dilate, make things look red. That's because you're bringing more blood and more lymphocytes to the area. But what they don't what medical don't understand is your blood isn't the main immunity. Your lymphatic system is. Everything has to be destroyed and carried to the lymph nodes. That's where macrophages and bacteria are. So the lymph system is vital to be working. when it's not, everything then goes back to the blood again. And this is why man is in so much trouble. But also you must understand that the calcium buffering system is part of the inflammatory process. The cholesterol, since the lymphatic system is a cholesterol-based system, cholesterol goes up when the body's fighting these things, or especially long-term acidosis. So there's a lot of different aspects to inflammation. One of the big ones is edema, water. Water is the universal solvent. H2O, slightly acidic. Right? Hydrogen is the universal atom, hydrogen. That determines the pH, potential for hydrogen. So hydrogen is the universal acid, basically. And so H2, 2 atoms of hydrogen to 1 of oxygen, which is base. So you have that balance. So it makes it just a little stripping, just a little astringent, just a little, and that creates the universal solvent issue of that. We wash our hands, we do all these sort of things in that. When the body has, through osmosis, pulls edema into these highly compacted, highly dense areas of acidosis, highly stagnant areas, tissue swells. However, when it starts to get into the cavities, you're in trouble. And this is why anything like ascites or anything, you're in trouble. You are fighting for your life. When you start consuming raw foods, you start consuming more water and electrolytes. Well, that's vital to break up the agglomeration of acidosis. It's vital. You can only fight chemistry with chemistry. Right? And if you're on the acid side of chemistry, you can't use acid pharmaceuticals because that kills a lot of people, obviously. You have to understand pHs, and your pharmaceuticals must fall into that line as well. You can't use acetates for steroids. Kills people. So it's just insane. A lot of the thinking there is, I don't know where it comes from. But when you're already edemic, and then you go on raw foods, you could get more edemic. Remember the young lady I was telling you about that puts on 5 to 10 pounds of weight when she takes a shower? When you see that, you know you're extremely dehydrated. Dehydration is on the acid side. In the atomic structure of it, that means the protons in the atoms dominate the electrons. Remember the subatomic particles of protons and electrons? The more electrons around a proton, the more alkaline. That sort of speak. This is why acids are always stealing electrons. And this is the ionization process of chemistry, of life. Then there's saturation to that. There's all kinds of things to that. But realizing that there's only 2 sides of chemistry, and each are not the same. Each are polar opposites, because we deal in opposites. We deal in duality in creation. So when you become acidic, the only remedy is on the alkaline side. The remedy isn't on the acid side. More acids, that's insanity. I mean, that's criminal, because it kills so many people. They're already highly acidic. And then you give them chemo or something that is, down around hydrochloric acid levels. You can't come out of that stuff. Hydrochloric acid chews up flesh. It's just that sort of problem that we face. And yet you have that level of ignorance treating all these people, and has created this I'm better than everyone else on the planet, and has done everything to suppress the natural health people. Well, look at what's happened to the humans because of it. And if we don't stand up as humans and put a no to this, it's seeped into our legislators, all these stupid legislators that have no brains, pass these things, they don't know. And this is what has created the problem between the medical and attorneys. This world is a mess. So we have to come as the God people and bring the love, but we also have to bring the truth, whether it creates a battle or not. It's just the way it is. This is creation. So in this process of eating alkaline, you're eating chemistry that dominates in electrons. Determines whether an element is going to be of a base side or an acid side. And of course, when you bring these together, you're going to see homeostasis. You're going to see ionization. You're going to see acid stealing the electrons. That's how it works. But in that process, you're going to get more edemic. That's the problem. That's the problem. So this is why we don't recommend juices a lot when you're highly edemic, when you're bloated up with ascites and things like this. We try to keep it down, but it's your water fruits that are the greatest detoxifiers. And the problem is, if you can't get your kidneys to filter and start pulling this lymph through and getting this agglomeration, this acidosis out, you can't stop this hydration or this edemic process. It's a natural process of nature. And death is congestive heart failure. Congestive, that's lymphatic. That is edemic. Same thing with the lungs. And sometimes they have to go in and aspirate this out. Well, if you're at that level, you're at that level. And you might have to be aspirated many times to save your life. But you have to understand it's saving lives. We're here to save lives, not to treat symptoms or diseases and play games with people that finally take them out. So important to understand the edemic process and ascites and this sort of thing with the lungs and lung cancer. Just remember the word cancer is simply extreme acidosis that is blown into the inner circle. In other words, intracellular acidosis is how you get mutation of the cell. Outside of the cell, it's inflammation. Okay? That's simple. So your cell doesn't become what they call cancerous or simply destroyed or mutated to the point of not reversing that cell. Then you can call it whatever you want. Unfortunately, they've created these disease names and infiltrated them through society and then blows back on people that use them because it's just an easier name. So we got serious problems. There needs to be some serious law cases that really go after this sort of what's been going on here. Sad stuff, to tell you the truth, because humans have lost their ability to have fun, to feel free, and to enjoy life. Everybody's walking around with long faces and mad and full of pain and upset. So we have to change that. And if you're in pain, the only way to get out of pain is on the acid side of chemistry. You want to get on the base side of chemistry, which is hydrating. And it's that process that you have to go through. There's a process to go through from Hellville to Wellville. And that process isn't always fun. Let me tell you, there's no question. A lot of you go ups and downs. Remember this, when you start on these programs, you're walking backwards, not in consciousness, but you're walking backwards in time physically and repairing those weaknesses, even in the genetic memories of the cells. So you have stored memory pain that can come out. And another thing is when you're full of pain and acidosis, when we start astringing, that could hurt even more. Absolutely could hurt more. Absolutely. So the problem is you're already in trouble. So when you get on these programs and you freak out, it's like, no, don't freak out. I told you many times, grab the bull by the horns, get your strap on, get locked in, and fight the fight. Because this fight for many of you is your life. And if you see a little up and down, you throw up or you do this, you got to quit and be a baby? No. You're going to ride that bull until you get your body where you want your body to be. Right? You're the boss. Not your mind, not your emotions. You're the boss. And if you're not in control, then the mind is in control, and the mind is full of propaganda, belief systems that are not true, full of ideas that have been taught to you that have no validity. So you're going to use that? Or you're going to use the instrument of truth. That's your own awareness. You know, when you're trying to find the answers of life, man seems to think in academics and look in the books, look in the book. The trouble is the answers to life are not in the books. They're trying to find the answers of life. Where is the answers of life? In you. Consciousness, awareness, that's where all life comes from. So why would you not look to that for your answers as opposed to a conditioned mind? And that's what they don't know. So they beat people up on their education and stuff like that. Go ahead. We all know where the greatest education you can have is. Absolutely. So I wanted to go over that because we've had cases recently where they've had ascites and stuff like that and freaked out because they threw up or freaked out because they had, it's like, when you have ascites, you're in the end. You're walking to the end of times. And you must be fully awake and aware of what you're doing and what you got to go through to survive this. And what you have to understand is we are the chemists. We know what's up. We're not babies playing in the fields of dreams like medical thinkers. These guys don't know. So they're just throwing anything on the pot. It's like, no, I can't do that. You have to simply understand the rhythm of chemistry, how it works. Simple, the two sides, how each side plays off each other, steals the electrons here or there to keep ionization moving, hydration or dehydration, that whole process. Because as chemistry is broke down, either through digestion, combustion, whatever the Krebs cycle, whatever cycles, whatever processes, there's always residues created. There's always chemical residues created in all processes. And those chemical residues, 9 out of 10 are acids, not bases. So that's why we have such a huge lymphatic system in the body, a lipid-based system to deal with the acids. For man to think about knowing at least the lymph system exists and not at least allowing your consciousness to expand. And this is the problem with allopathy. If it's not written down on paper, then it can't be true. And it doesn't matter what's written. Like, yeah, right. You have to understand what this is. And you guys really understand it. I was amazed at how smart you guys were at the class. You were letting me go so fast. You guys sitting around, I was going so fast because you guys just, there was no blockages. Most of you understood that and were already, well, let's go, So that's exciting to me because this planet needs help bad, from one way of looking at it. So we've got a lot of questions here to go over, but I have to tell you, no matter what you ask me, and no matter what condition you are in, you must change your diet pronto. Number one, whether you go into simply fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables, your best way, if you're just starting and you don't know, then you do your fruit breakfast. You always have fruits breaking the fast from the night before. You always use fruit or fruit juices breaking fast, right? So that's why you have break fast, breakfast in the morning. It has to be fruits, a big bowl of delicious fruit, right? Then have a big salad for lunch. Okay, have a big salad for lunch. And then at night, eat light. Eat fruits if you want, another bowl of fruit, or maybe a green drink or something like that. That's to start out. But if you're facing huge tumors, hardened tumors and things like this, you can't stay there long. You've got to get it on up until the most electrical and most astringent diet. Make sense? Makes sense because the body is an electrical body and a chemical body. Your other bodies are more electrical bodies, not chemical bodies. This is a chemical and electrical body. And chemistry releases electricity. Remember, electrolytes. So that's why it's so important to have an electrolyte dominant diet, because most of your byproducts from your metabolism and respiration is acids. So it only makes sense that your ingestion would be alkaline dominant, which if you look at the foods are alkaline dominant, along with mother's milk that is uncooked or unpasteurized, is alkaline milks. When you get down to the cat milks, whew, it's right there, because high lipids to buffer the proteins. Cats have to have a lot of lipids to buffer proteins. That's why, the ketogenic crap. It's just understanding the difference between carbohydrates, your lipids, and your proteins. Why is the proteins the least? Why is lipids in the middle and carbohydrates the top in most chemical foods compositions? Why is that? And then why does man come along and say, oh, you need all this protein when the food sources don't show that? See, that's the problem. Then you're going to dried beans and grains, and these bodybuilders think they know everything and that they have to have complete amino acids, and they don't. They are told a bunch of lies. So the price they pay is stiff, very stiff. Their body gets stiff, the joints get full of acids, the body leaches calcium out of them, of course, and then what happens? So needs to be a change in awareness out there, and it's happening, exciting, and it's happening. So I want to pull that into this first question, and this is from Lisa. Infant has a heart murmur, all right? So a heart murmur is generally a mitral valve prolapse, a valvular weakness. The first thing comes to mind when you have a weakness in a valve or in connective tissue. Where are we going? we're going to go to the parathyroid gland. And in an infant, when we're thinking about parathyroid, we also, in the same vein, want to think pituitary, because this is an infant, and you don't want this infant in its growth patterns to be stifled. So if this infant starts out with the parathyroid and all this, now if you're the mother, you might get some idea if you had any postpartum depression. If you had any postpartum depression, that would be an indication that this infant of yours has a parathyroid weakness. Pituitary-wise, watch its growth. Watch its growth. And when you can get a picture, a nice picture of that eye, that's what you want to do. You want to see where your baby's at. You know, what do I have to do to help my baby survive this? You know, and stay out of the medical hands, because it's a nightmare once that happens, as you all know. And it's disgraceful what us humans have done to other humans, and still do. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing grace. So, when you got a heart murmur, you want to take off and submit with babies now, all of you guys, kidneys, adrenals, lymphatics. Kidneys, adrenals, lymphatics. Save your babies. And when you're getting into the endocrine glands, this is the endocrine glands. It wouldn't hurt to give a little endocrine gland formula. The herbs are made for babies as they are for adults. Babies are little adults, and they can take it. And I can tell you, and they excel. So this is a good time to work it out. No question, you're going to want to get onto the fruits. Hi, my midwife heard a swoosh sound while listening to my son's heart at 4 weeks. Wow. Then again, but louder, is that what we're trying to say? At 6 weeks. She referred us to see a pediatrician, who then referred us to get an EKG and an echocardiogram. My husband thinks we should wait it out and not spend thousands on testing for us to have to come back in 6 months to do more testing. I don't have enough characters to finish writing this, but what would you recommend we do for my 6-week-old that has a whoosh sound in his heart that is getting bigger? I would put him on the heart formula. I would put him on the endocrine gland formula. I'd put him on the kidney formula. Maybe a little extra boost to the adrenals. And I would stay away from the lymph. 6 weeks, you're milk breastfeeding, probably. If you're breastfeeding, I hope you're raw. If you're breastfeeding, check your milk with a pH and see if your milk is acidic or alkaline. If your milk's acidic, change. Got to start giving them fruits and stuff, even young like that, because if your milk's acidic, you have the chance of hearing that heart murmur even louder, because it's going to continue to leach. When you're acidic like that, your weakened areas are going to continue to get weaker, because your body's going to continue to initiate the calcium buffering system. You know, your babies, and you can't have acid ash foods. Milk is alkaline ash unless your diet is acid ash. Then your fluids become acidic. That's why your blood steals calcium out of its wall, out of its little basement connective tissue wall. Because if the blood becomes acidic, bye-bye. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you're gone. Hope you can hold your breath that long. But that sort of problem, you know what I'm saying? It is serious stuff. And what you guys are learning is very serious stuff, because you can help the world come out of this. And our babies, I just, you know how I feel about that. So I would do that. And make sure your milk is alkaline milks. All you mothers breastfeeding, make sure your milks are alkaline milks. That's essential. And if your baby's getting colicky with your milk and mucus expelled, you got to get them off, or you're going to fill your baby full of mucus. And the problem with that is masses and tumors. Masses and tumors, skin problem, you can just keep on going, right? And we can't do that. We're smarter than that, right? Yeah. So that's what I would recommend. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars, though, on an EKG or something. You can, that wouldn't cost that much money to do that. But they don't have much for it that I know of, unless they have some kind of pharmaceutical for that. And that's where the problem lies, But as soon as you can get a picture of your son's eyes, take a look at the heart area. Take a look at all that. The heart formula is a strengthener. But this is a valve problem if that's the case, and that would mean you are at the parathyroid level, and that would be very important for so many reasons in this infant. I can't even begin to tell you. Skeletal structure, connective tissue structure, and of course flipping back to the mother too on that. Postpartum depressions, and then what she has to deal with parathyroid weaknesses. So, Mom, I take a look at you, take a look at your eyes to see if you got pituitary, the donor husband or man, whatever. Take a look at that and see, because if a pituitary is involved, then now's the time to work with this on this baby. All right. Hi, my grandson is 6 years old. He was in the hospital for 6 days. See all these young people? It gets my heart, brother. I tell you, these young people, we've got to help them. And you guys are the only ones that can really know regeneration. Amazing, isn't it? For 5 days, he was tested positive for strep throat, mono, and low Rocky Mountain tick fever. What do you think could be wrong? The doctors really don't know what's wrong with him. Tina, one word. What might that word be? Now let me put on the record. It's a broken record. Lymphatic. So where am I going with your lad? Kidneys, honey. Kidneys and adrenals. You really want to go and work on those with your young lad too, because this can be, again, lymphatic. When it's lymphatic and you're young, you're looking at psoriasis, acne, and all that. You're looking at tumors. You're looking at the dysfunction of the 4 steps, absorption, digestion, all of these factors. The young people are in trouble. I mean, big time trouble. And it's just, we have to fix them and ourselves. So the strep throat, the mono, this lymphatic system is really backed up, and I hope you're not removing tonsils or anything. You don't want to do that. Clean the lymphatic system, your baby will be done with all of this stuff. So you want to, again, kidney filtration. And this is the time to work on your young one. Boy, let me tell you, because facing the whole life of not doing that, you can imagine. Some of you guys haven't filtered most of your life. That's why your lymph systems are a, house mess. And that's why we have serious trouble trying to get into these levels of detoxification. We're at levels of detoxification never heard of before. Because we're in that deep. We're in so deep chronic levels of acidosis where we have chronic levels of lymph stagnation on top of heavy cholesterol plaquing. And I see this in 40 and 50-year-olds. Even in our class, I'm starting to get your eyes out now. Amazing how quick, right? So I'm getting your eyes out, and boy, there's a lot of cholesterol plaquing in the students at the class and at the 50-year range. So really important that we all work together to help each other get a remedy there. But Tina, you got to work on your baby's lymphatic system. This is vital. So no matter, again, if the skin breaks out and when you're detoxifying, okay. Better out than in. Remember that. Better out than in. How about that guy's tumors from the tongue and pooping tumors? And better out than in. This is why detoxification, we don't suppress and attack. We eliminate. Make sense? Makes sense, because when you attack, who you're attacking? Your cells. Well, it isn't a cell problem until the floods make it a cell problem. It's a flood problem at first, then becomes a cell problem. And that's why we're in trouble. Oh, this is sky. Beautiful sky. I don't have a sky. They got to put a new roof on our building here, and I'm going to say, put in a huge skylight right here. Have you guys ever encountered a person with stones in the lymphatic system? Whoa! Well, it's interesting you bring that up. I've got one lady right now. She's got a huge bile duct tumor. And whoa! The sediment, the calcifications that are coming out of her urine. I assumed it was kidneys, but I don't see how it's not possible to have stones in the lymphatic system. I mean, it's a lipid-based system. Excuse me. But take a look at gallstones. Those are lipid stones. Whenever you have acidosis, you have coagulation, agglomulation. Everything sticks. So you get gallstones, liver stones, calcifications, all that sort of thing. Hardness, stiffness, tightness. So, boy, is that possible? Probably. Especially around the stomach and bowels. Holy crap. Well, I'll tell you the honest truth. There's not too many eyes I've done in my, 50 years of doing irises that I haven't seen a certain level of malabsorption. And that means that bowel wall is thickened lymphatically. And you can see that bowel rim. And when you can see that bowel rim, you shouldn't see that bowel rim. And when you can see that bowel rim, that means there's a problem. The eyes are funny. When you don't see a problem, they're perfect. You don't see any lacunas. You don't. The fibers are straight. You don't really differentiate the colon and the small bowel area hardly, and the stomach area. You can't hardly differentiate those levels, those zones. But in my whole entire life, and I think the thing's true with Jensen, have we seen someone with that perfect of an eye that they didn't have lymph stagnation to a certain degree interstitially in the small and large, and including the stomach walls. And of course, that breeds an X amount of malabsorption, along with inflammation, acidosis. So that's why you get thickened bowel walls. That's why you get the IBS, the Crohn's, the ulcerative colitis, because what side of chemistry ulcerates? That's not difficult. Acids. If hydrochloric acid isn't neutralized, what is some of the symptoms of that? Stomach or duodenal ulcerations. Yeah, absolutely. This is why the problems are on the acid side of chemistry, guys. I used to be anemic. I went on for 3 years. I think that I compacted my lymph vessels and nodes all throughout my digestive system. Well, that's what I said. I see that a lot, and I see it in the gallbladders and the walls of pancreas. That's why you see so much pancreatitis and pancreatic tumors and all over. It's all over. It's not just one area or another. It's all over. The problem now is in the ducts and everywhere else. Now it's all around the necks, the heads. It's like, holy moly. So you can see how man's in trouble here. I have been using a handheld vibrating massage to work them out. I have felt hundreds of stones move out of my system. Holy moly. Well, you could have even lipid stones, man. They could be lipid stones, I am really scared. Please help. No one I have talked to believes me. Well, you know why? It don't matter. I believe you. You know what? We all believe you. We here understand the human body and what happens under an acid medium. This is the problem, talking and conversing with friends and things like that doesn't have this level of information. You're going to be talking way over their heads, and they're going to think you're a wacko. They did me. I lost a lot of my friends when I first got into health, and that wasn't at this level. I mean, fruitarian level, yes, but not at the herb and the health level that we're doing now. So I don't know, you just plow through because you're the warrior. Woman or male, you're the one that carries the light of God. When you wake up, now you understand who you are. And now what are you doing here? You're not going to go back playing in the fields of dreams anymore, are you? And get lost in thought and emotions and play those fear and upset and anger games and stuff like that. You're awake. So what are you going to do being awake? That may help you get awake. Because your rewards are coming. This is from Connecticut. I don't want to talk about Connecticut and the Supreme Court allowing that 17-year-old to be drugged, knocked out, basically, and juiced. Oh, I am a longtime fan, and I am very grateful for you and your wisdom. Thank you, my dear one. Love you, too. This email is about my poor dog. Boy, funny you bring up dogs. We're having dog problems all over here. We've got dogs with tumors coming out of their belly. We got a dog with leukemia. We're pulling that dog out of it. We've got the tumor out of the dog now, the big dog. They're both big dogs. But, I mean, we've got dog problems everywhere. It's just like, oh, wow. But look at their diets, and look at the focus on canines is high protein diets. And they can't handle high proteins. I'm going to tell you, dogs cannot handle high protein. Go ahead and it knocks their kidneys down. I wonder how long a dog could live in a proper setting of health and wellness. Archer, oh, that's cute. He's a 1.5-year-old yellow lab. Oh, 1.5 yellow lab. Labs are cool dogs. When they look at you, you can almost talk to them with your eyes. Isn't that amazing? And was diagnosed before his first birthday with hypnosis. Oh, yeah. Yep, universal problem, hip dysplasia. All right. Oh, well, we do physical therapy, and they give me glucosamine chondroitin supplements for him. No, no, no. Okay? No, no, no. And the reason is these are sulfates. And this will just create fungal problems in the dog, and this won't correct it at all. The glucosamine chondroitin, you know, I've told you stories about those before. They used to tout it as regenerators, right, until the FDA said no. And there are some things about the FDA I am definitely in favor of, and that is the truth. The truth. Not suppression and lies and going after people, but the truth. And sometimes the FDA tells the truth. So glucosamine and chondroitin, not a way to go. Parathyroid, way to go? Absolutely, parathyroid. I would get them on kidneys. That's where the big problem is, remember? So I'd get them on kidneys. Endocrine glands, I would definitely get a parathyroid. 10 milligrams, give one twice a day to the dog. You could give them a superfood blend, which will really help. High calcium blends. So get a superfood blend down him. Kidneys, endocrine glands, maybe one little, couple drops, maybe a drop. Now we're talking about drops in a dog, this little drops. I'll give him maybe 1 or 2 drops of lymphatic 1. That little yellow 1.5 year lab, well, you could probably give him a quarter drop full of kidneys and endocrine glands. 10 milligram of I would on mine. So I'm advising myself on my dog. That way I don't get into practicing whatever without whatever, right? But this is my field, health field, and so, but I would get away from that sort of thing and go, that's just a symptom treater. You want to rebuild tissue. And the best way to do it is, again, go back into that dog. Diet's important. The difficulty is finding food. Rabbit dog. Find a balanced food like rabbit dog or superfood complexes like ours and get them to consume that. And then at the same time go in and start getting the lymph moving and get the structural system back in order again. He was also just recently diagnosed with front elbow dysfunction. Yeah, you're going to go right into the parathyroids, go into the endocrine gland systems, go into the kidneys, the lymph systems on this one, just like it would happen to you. You know, he's a good boy. Yeah. And I feel terrible for him and his suffering. I know. And we're bringing babies and animals into the world, and they're mutated because man hasn't learned about health. Doesn't learn how to make things healthy. He treats things with toxic chemicals, and he sits back in his big pompous chairs with a big smile on his face and judges everybody. No, we're healers, and we're going to come to the rescue of all the suffering, but it's sad there's so much. So much. Is this fixable? I think so. I would. I certainly would. I wouldn't stop at this little fella. What can I do? I don't want him to suffer for the rest of his life and would do anything for him. Please help me. That's what I would do. Kelly and Archer. Kelly and Archer. That's cute. I definitely would. I would go after this. I'll tell you, let me see. Pictures. Oh. There you go. Not a little fella. Not a little fella. So, go after him. Go after him. Yeah. Matter of fact, upper circuit brain and nerve would be good with this fella too. That's going to help. So upper circuit brain and nerve, I mean, just figure this a little human. Go right, even though they're omnivores. Well, I thought we were omnivores. But go after them the same way, you know, and get them on a superfood blend, and I think you should be okay with them. I really do. Go after those kidneys, you know, because, again, they're universally urinary tract. So that means they can initiate the calcium buffering system all the time. And, of course, hip dysplasia is very common amongst dogs. Sad stuff, you know. But we can start fixing these things with your intelligence, all you guys, how smart, and what we've got put together here. Pretty good stuff. Hello, my name is Rachel. Thank you for your dedication. Thanks, honey. Definitely dedicated. I love your videos, although I don't get to watch enough of them. Thanks, honey. I appreciate that. I'm drinking your Hill All tea, and hoping for a clear smear. Oh, after 2 years of abnormal cells. All right, so what you want to do is you want to douche. And you want to douche with the Heal All tea. Now, I would douche at least once a night. If you want, twice a day would be fine. In the morning, at night, get a douche bag. You can get on the toilet and do it, or lay down on a towel if you want. But I'd probably do it on the toilet. Excuse me, trying to get this out of me. And I do it for at least 2 weeks. And then I've had a lot of atypicals reverse in a week, but I would at least do it for 2 weeks. And at the same time, what are you going to be working on? Interstitial, right? That's around the cells of the vaginal area, but it's also around the cells of the kidneys, around the cells of the liver, around the cells of everywhere. Because when you're down lymphatically, you're down all on one side at least, lymphatically. So if you're having this HPV and all this, you want to detox, get into an alkaline focus. Again, we've talked a lot about this sort of thing. But if you're having atypical cells, you definitely want to douche, and at the same time you want to go interstitial. That means you're going with the kidneys, the adrenal glands, and the lymphatic system. At least those three formulas. And then I'd go after my bowels, since that's universally connected everywhere, symbiotically, right? So you want to go after the gut tissue as well. And that's where I'd be going. I'd be going after detoxifying myself, because remember, the vaginal tissues or anywhere else in the body is just the effect of what your lifestyle is. And genetics, which is the lifestyle again. I'm praying for good results next time around. I'd appreciate it. I would do more than drink it. I definitely douche with it, and get a little deeper into this detoxification. Go after the kidneys. Make sure your kidneys are filtering so you can clean these acids out of these tissues. You can't just blow them away, wish them away. I'd appreciate any advice on healing this and keeping it away for good. I quit smoking a year ago, and I'm quitting alcohol and trying to clean life up completely. Good girl. Yeah, because that's a good warning. Because let me tell you, ladies, no vaginal wall cancers, not fun, and a vaginal wall tumor, not in the scheme of things. So, ladies, everything you can do to keep that away, you want to do that. Everywhere is prone interstitially. Everywhere, interstitially. Doesn't matter, ovaries, uterus, testicles, males, prostates, livers, hearts, they don't matter. It don't matter. The body's made the same everywhere. Every cell is a specialist, no question, like you and me, we're all specialists, but we're all human, have human bodies, and the same thing is true about cells. I would also like to ask about garlic and onions, and would you stand on them being edible for humans? Yeah, but they're pungent. A lot of sulfur in these. So yeah, a little pungent. Things that are pungent. I mean, I like sweet Valdalia onions. If I'm going to eat an onion, it has to be a Valdalia or a sweet onion. Of course, if you're cooking, these are the things that man got used to. The flavors that the onions and the celeries all created when you cook things. Yeah, locking ourselves deeper into Hellville with flavors and desserts and all that stuff. Good. For humans, you're quite clear on sulfurs, but you use garlic bulb with cayenne and what I do. And I do that for dilating the vascular system and fungus. I wouldn't necessarily need garlic, but the health benefits of garlic are long established. I think onions got some good effects to them. So I'm not totally negative. It's just that at the level I'm at with my diet, my body doesn't like them much. I was fine in the lower levels of diets, but when you get up around the frugivore levels and the high raw levels, certain things, the body you're like this now. It's just like, it's not bad or good, not labeling anything. It's just, no, my body just doesn't want that anymore. If your body's polarized to that, then take a look at that. Maybe your body needs that. But if not, your body at certain level, each level has its own level of purity and its own level of energeticness. And it becomes then out of harmony energetically with lower forms of things or certain foods, the consciousness of certain foods, we could call it. And you now are working at higher levels of awareness and consciousness, therefore you're polarized to higher levels of food sources that feed that higher level of consciousness, if we could look at it that way. Because every food source is consciousness. Every food source is simply chemistry, which is simply frequencies of electromagnetic energy, which is simply from spirit, which is simply the prana of the life force, which is simply God expressing itself in dual forms. That's simple. And you are the awareness, but you have a body that you're using. It's hard to understand the break because your nervous system and all your senses are so good that you think you are the body. But when you pull back in meditation, contemplation, prayer, you're pulling back from the physical world and having union with your higher bodies, if not yourself or that which is. So, two colonoscopy operation removing a dysplasia the first time and a centimeter of healthy looking cervix that apparently had CIN3 high grade cell change. You know, you're on the right focus, and this is what I would do, because you see how this is it's all over the place here for you, and you can have this head to toe. You want to, your appropriate thinking is to go into the body and detox it systemically, interstitially. That's essential. That's a given. Check. Now you want to get more aggressive than heal all T. You want to get your kidneys filtering. If you want to get these acids and virals and things out of you, there's only one pathway, and it isn't the blood. The pathway is through the eliminative organs, right? Makes sense? Elimination, eliminative organs. The liver is not an eliminative organ, guys, natural health guys. All right? The eliminative organs are key to look at here. The eliminative organs. And the skin, the kidneys, the urinary tract, the gut, the colon, that is an eliminative area. So these are the eliminative organs. They have to be eliminating, not just passing water. They have to be eliminating sewage, acids. When they're not, the blowback is on the cell. That's all that is. And you can turn this around by getting the interstitial spaces hydrated and filtering through the kidneys or sweating through the skin again. That's simply how you clean the mess up. The acid's up. You can't treat it. You can't attack it. You can't put steroids on it. You can't put chemotherapy to a tumor that's already an acid tumor. I mean, that's all insanity thinking. But you want to get much more involved in your detox program. Douching is key to this, in my opinion. That Heal All Tea, I designed that for douching. That's my first tea for douching, because I was using Casey's tea. You're quite clear on, so I would like to just know definitely if you would be eating them. Thank you for taking the time and read my question. How will I know which video my question gets answered in? Well, by the time you get this, you're going to know. Well, we timestamp these. Chris timestamps them for us, and so you'll just have to look at where that is on which video. I don't know else how we do that. I'm so busy. I just let Chris take care of all this, guys. Chris and Drew, I pretty much am so busy. Some of this I'm not sure, but you could call in and ask. Well, my name is Malik. Malik. And I have an amazing girlfriend, but ever since she was 14, currently 18 years old, she's been living with a disease called neurofibromatosis type 1, which caused a tumor to develop on her spine. You know, I recently had a neighbor girl. She was a paraplegic from a tumor on her spine, and I think she was in her 20s. And I would see her going by the house in her wheelchair and her mother, and so one time when I first met her, made friendly and asked her why she was in the chair, and she said a tumor, and I said, oh, that's easy to fix. And she kind of looked at me, and I said, no, that's easy to fix, honey. At least you're a para for a reason that's very fixable. And so she never did. And then I heard the other day, she passed away. A young girl passing away from a tumor on the spine? What? Are you kidding me? These things are not difficult to remedy. And when you have a tumor on the spine, they can't always remove it. So the only removal is the right way. You can pull it with black salve, but you'll just form another one. So you can pull it to relieve, and then to get kidneys filtering and everything, and then hopefully you won't grow another one as you're getting all this fixed up. If you do, you just pull that one as well, especially if it affects your mobility and things like that. And this is a young girl. She is in constant pain day to day that never ends, and doctor just gives her medication that doesn't work at all. So I was wondering, could you help? Absolutely. Absolutely. And so this is real important. And so she wants to, right now, I would say a good 20-day grape diet, wouldn't you guys? 20-day grape diet would be perfect for this young lady right now. Then I would grab kidneys, adrenals. I would grab the first kit. The first kit. That's got everything in it, and it'll deworm her. It'll defungal her. So at least start that process. So that's where I'd go. The first kit, get going. And then get honking on this, because you don't want to play around with this. There's nothing good comes around with tumors on spines. Nothing. So, and very, very, no, I don't see why one can't do it. Let's put it that way. It's 100% doable. Unless your lymph node to that is destroyed, and then you would have to pull the tumors, until you rebuild the lymph node, perhaps. Is there any way to ease the pain or have the tumor removed without long-term damage? You can pull that tumor out now if you had to. You're going to have to get some of that Indian black salve, the good stuff, and have help, some advice maybe on how to do that. You have to join the club to do that and stuff. We don't give advice out for those things, you know. You have to be a club member. We're a private club, and we can help our members. So that's the sort of thing. If it was, I would get on detoxing now. A 20-day grape diet. You could add grape and lemons if you want to go faster. I would hit the kidneys to get those kidneys to filter. I'd get on the herbs and honk on. She should be out of pain shortly. If not, you can put black salve just to the side of the spine there and get some advice and pull that puppy out of there and give her some relief that way. Be a little painful at first, but I would try it the right way first, but that's up to you. She can't exercise due to, you don't want her to exercise. No, due to knee problems, yeah. So you've got to fix your girlfriend here, and we can fix her right up. And she's one you're going to want to fix. She's going to want to fix herself, so let her see this video, because this is important. You don't play around with these tumors in those areas. You get them out, but you get them out in the system that they're in. You use the system that they're in. You don't go after systems that are not relative.
Yes. Crikey.
I got two of them.
No worries.
No worries, I say. Just get it out. Just get it out. And that's what detoxification, that's the beauty of the proper detoxification. Understanding that word that nature uses. We're just following nature and how it works, and we're reversing that. Hello, Dr. Morse. Would it be okay to switch 1 month on glandulars and 1 month on licorice root? Absolutely. 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 Might not be a bad idea either. I still say the body can get used to things, or there's a saturation. There's always a saturation in chemistry. And that's why I have different formulas. That's why I shake things up, because of that saturation. I want the body to always be challenged when we're detoxing it, right? So that's one reason that I'm doing that. So you could do that, not a bad idea. But I'll say this, after a while I would get rid of the glandulars completely and stay with the licorice root. That's for the adrenals, I take it. But I don't like the long term. I like to give that bump to that tissue, wake that tissue up a little bit, a month or two on glandulars, off and going on. With the adrenals, we do the 400, go down to the 200, then we go down to the licorice root. Just depends. You know, we have some real chronic adrenals out there that sometimes they might need more involvement with the glandulars, but get used to taking your eyes. We've got a new seminar coming up, right? Level 2 and iridology crammed into one. So we got a 5-day seminar coming up. I think it's opened up today. I think I've talked to Shannon. That's going to be fun. This class was fun. You guys were fun. This class is going to be fun. A lot of protocols first. When you walk in the door, sit down, protocols. No discussion, protocols. Then iridology. That is fun. It is fun to learn the eyes. And you young kids, learn how to read eyes. Look how to look in your friend's eyes. Oh, I see you got a kidney problem. That ought to freak people out. But we have to start going that way. Excuse me, pulling up a lot of mucus here. I noticed after a while the glandulars eye, for the first time it came off of them and started on the licorice root. Glandulars eye, plateaued on. I believe that. I firmly believe that too. That's why I shake it up. But I don't keep on glandulars too much. Then after a month and a half, and this is, while we're talking about this is another way, after a while on the herbs, go 5 days on, 2 days off. It's okay. But 6 days on, 1 day off. 5 days on, 2 days off, 6 days on, take a week break in between. Take a week off. You're not going to make a difference. Especially you stay with the diet. It's not, especially with you and you're worried about cancer, you got to stay with the herbs. Not always. Just take a break sometimes. It sometimes works better when you take a little break and then you go back at it again. You know, the body, like you say, just plateaus. And I agree 100% with this gentleman. Gentleman, I think? Jonas? Yeah, then after a month and a half, I went back on glandulars and they started to work again. This is a good insight, Jonas. And I really, yep. And also think about the 5 days on and 2 days off or 1 day off sort of thing with the herbs and stuff. Kind of a good idea to do that. Holy moly. This is a really long one. I only have 15 minutes. Holy moly. I'll be back with you though. I'll be back with you and we'll go over your case here. This is a long case. Oh, all over the legs. I've seen that many times. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah. See in the back of the head there? Yeah. Yeah. Like a vitiligo type of stuff. But all right, let's go ahead and go over it, I guess. Okay. I have been struggling with psoriasis for 6 years, and the first 4 years were not serious. In the past 2 years, my skin has exponentially gotten worse. And you know what? It'll keep getting worse. There's no stopping it unless you stop it. There's no stopping this because every day your body is metabolizing chemistry, and every day your body is in the form of activity, movement, and all movement and all activity, no matter what level it is, creates chemical interactions. And where you have chemical interactions, you have acids as the byproducts interactions. Hello. I mean, we face that in factories, we face it in our cars, we face it in all life, right? So this is always going to get worse because psoriasis is simply lymphatic stagnation, interstitial, but subcutaneous, all the dermis, all of that, you're stagnant. And it's acid. And I would submit to you probably a little bit thyroid there going on with that. In the past, I have learned that I have not been eating well. 4 times a week, I would eat fast food. I would not consume enough water, but I mostly ate healthy home food. In the past year, started January 17, I became committed to healing by eating less sugar, avoiding grains, and cut out dairy completely, other than the rare protein shake after work. And I thought your body was a little like this. You know, I kind of, you're a bodybuilder or something, because take a look. You've got a nice physique from the back. Look at that guy. Ripped upstairs, chest. But the problem is the protein. As you're probably learning, or if you're just now tuning to this, you got to learn about the proteins, because you can have a nice physique but not destroy the body while you're doing it, and that means you have to get away from the proteins and go to the amino acid blends, but also the rest of the diet. Dairy is going to be your worst offender to psoriasis, acne, or anything like that. Anything cheese, milk, ice cream, you'll never get over it. It's just that's so mucus and congesting to the human body, you just can't get over it. So things like that, proteins exacerbate the pain and the redness and the acidosis. Any acid ash diet that you're on is going to exacerbate your problem. Right now, consistently, I am eating lots of fruit, such as berries, bananas, oranges, avocados, apples, sometimes kiwis, and for lunch, I would have grilled chicken breast. Eliminate, for now, get this fixed and then go back to your proteins if you have to. But learn about our muscle blend, a high amino acid blend I made for bodybuilders. I mean, use those things instead of your chickens and your proteins, man, and get this psoriasis out of you, because it's not just the skin that's involved. You're walking down the road to the medical side of cancers, or to what we call tumors and things like that, the arthritises, all the RA, stuff like that. And that's when it becomes a lot worse. It's one thing to see your skin as bad as this. It's another thing to see your joints, then be in constant pain like this one lady. That's where you're walking. And that's why you have to unwalk this walk and learn another way of bodybuilding, and a way that'll get you healthy, but you want to fix yourself first, like Ian did. And fix yourself. He's on these videos, if you haven't noticed, and he fixed himself, and now he's going down the road, and you can see how he's getting now. And he'll keep himself out of that. Chicken breast with starches such as beans and sweet potatoes, right there, that whole meal has to be eliminated. That whole meal is horrible. First of all, your chicken breast with starches, wrong combination. You've got a protein with a starch, so the protein doesn't start digesting till it hits your stomach, which is hydrochloric acid invoking pepsin. So that's an acid hit. Your starches start digesting immediately in your mouth with amylase. So when you start an alkaline process, mixing it with an acid process, you neutralize the process right there. Acid and alkalize come together, they neutralize each other. That's that ionization that you see. And that's what happens with digestive enzymes. That's why you feel gassy and bloated when you feel these combinations. You don't feel good when you combine these combinations. And then, of course, with the starch, you're going to ferment that, and then you're going to combine the fungal family. This is why people are so full of fungus, is they eat fungal foods and they ferment their foods, their starches, because they combine them with proteins. And starch is already hard to break down, and it's complex sugar, so that invites fungal activity. You see where I'm going with all this? And then, of course, there's no health here. There's no health in a chicken breast. There's no health in cooked starches or anything like that. Beans, enzyme inhibitors, high phytic acid, things like that. Your best bet was the sweet potato. You could do a large salad with sweet potato and do a hit of a superfood blend, and now you got power for the day. And muscle power. Sometimes homemade pita and rice, maybe 3 times a week. Yeah, I would change that up totally. Do a salads, maybe avocados there. If you want to do the sweet potato, I'm okay with that. But you would want to do the superfood blend or something like that. Will packs you the amino acid that you need if you're working out. Remember, too much chemistry is too much chemistry, and most people are getting too much nutritive chemistry the body can't use. You got to look at this, guys. Got to stop and look at this. Bodybuilding or anything else, it just makes sense to fix yourself first and then go. All right. So, are you digesting properly? That's pancreatic for the blood, gallbladder for the lymph. All right. Are we absorbing properly? That's interstitial. Is your interstitial spaces clean in the gut walls? No, for 99% of the people. Utilization. How does your body utilize the chemistry you just digested and absorbed? Adrenal glands. Believe it or not, someone said they were anemic. Low iron. Where do you have iron metabolism anyway? Liver? No, adrenals. There are 25 at least mineralocortical steroids involved, and the adrenal glands are major in the utilization process of chemistry, and that includes sugars. Your blood sugars are utilized or metabolized with your steroids. So you have to look at the essential need. And how many people have adrenals down? Everybody. So in this 4 processes, and now after all this processes is going on, you have to have proper elimination of metabolitic and digestive wastes. There's where man's big problem is. He's not eliminating the byproducts. You're eating, some people are absorbing, digesting okay, others are absorbing halfway, others are utilizing halfway, but 99% of everybody is not eliminating okay. So everybody has some of these 4 processes involved. Until you fix them, you can't tout anything. You got to fix them. And most of these processes are lymphatic issues. It's how you fix them. It's through that system. Then you can bump the cells up with the herbs and things like that. Remember, herbs are not created for diseases. Herbs are created for body parts, tissues, fluids. Man made up the concept of diseases. Of course, you could argue that man is an extension of God, da-da-da-da-da. Dinner, I try to have fruits and rarely brown rice. I drink a lot of spinach smoothies. Everything I eat is made at home, never from a can, and always organic. Well, that's pretty good. So you're getting there pretty good. I changed that noon meal. My bad habits. I would drink 4 to 5 cups of water a day, rarely eat ice cream, have max 5 cookies a month. That's not bad. Refined sugar and grain is 97% minimal. I treat it like the plague and avoid bread 95% of the time. I think that's really good. I eat it, then it's whole wheat. That's a good program for after detox. That's a good program for after detoxification, but you want to get in and clean some of this stuff up. And the skin and all this stuff up. So you want to fix that before you really go down. Fix that, and then everything in the rest of your life, my dear man, will be up, 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 big, big, strong, strong, flex, flex, not stiff, stiff, not lower back kidneys, not joints. You know what I'm saying? So your bad habits is pretty much like everybody else's bad habits, basically. And like I said, after a detox, not bad. But not during a detox, of course. My worst habit, I noticed in 2016, June to August, summer, I lived in Canada. That after one summer where I did a drug. It was 5 times on separate days with a few terrible influences that friends and I may have tried alcohol that summer. I think I drank a little, but max 15 days that summer combined. That is all I have ever done relating to drug and alcohol. Man, you're a pure being. I've been worse than you. My psoriasis before that was not bad at all, but it was because your diet is feeding that. Your diet is feeding that. Not all of your diet, but a lot of it. So you have to turn that around, get your kidneys to filter, pee in a jar, bro. Pee in a jar, you filtering, get that handled, and then start working on yourself. After that phase in summer, I did not consume anything bad. That's not the cause of psoriasis, though. Not at all. So in a time frame, I had it, and it was annoying for 4 years, very low multiple rate, small spots on scalp. Yeah, but, like I said, getting worse and worse and worse. The more protein you consume, the worse it's going to get. And that's a fact. And actually, the more dairy, the worse. It's all that. So just spend some time really taking off into getting deep into the detoxification levels. Don't worry about your body. If you get skinny, you're already skinny in the gut. And fix this up, malabsorption and all this, and then the sky is the limit, bro. Sky is the limit. This is the part you want to read, Dr. Morse. Oh, okay. From 2016 December to now, March 3rd, 2018, my gradual cleaning my diet phase. Basically, my skin no longer bleeds as much, but the patches have gotten even bigger and large enough with my constant year of adding lots of fruit and cutting out trigger foods, which I don't even think I consume that much in the first place. No, you were doing pretty good there. But you got to go back and fix things. Right now, your type of diet you're having is just kind of maintaining yourself. If I'm reading that past right, it's just kind of maintaining yourself and still adding more lymphatic problems. But you got to realize that every cell is, even if you ate good, even if, let's say you just changed your diet right now, you had all salads and greens and everything and fruits and everything, you could continue to get worse. If what? How could you continue to get worse eating good? If your kidneys aren't filtering. Doesn't matter how good you eat. If your kidneys are not filtering, where is your sewage from even the good foods going? Basically, my skin, I definitely, all right. I'm not sure what to do anymore. I am 125 pounds. Yeah. You know what? You're going to have to go after this. Forget how thin you are and go after this aggressively. I mean, really hit it aggressively. Get on the herbs, get your kidneys to filter, get your lymph system honking, get a picture of your eyes. Let's see what's going on with you. Let's see what you're facing here. That's what you have to look at. Age, he's only 21 years old. He's 5'7". So now we're thinking pituitary here. So you see, we want to take a look at you. You're 21 years old, so you fall in this age group where your kidneys are down, your adrenals are down, your gut is down, your nervous system's down. You fit in that age group where we've been following allopathic thinking. Man's been following allopathic thinking, and take a look at where we are. So if anybody says that theory has any validity, I want to throw up. Man is where he is because of this thinking. Allopathy has suppressed the natural health field to untold ends, and they're sticking their chests out. Take a look at where we are following that thinking. So you have to dig in here, man. You got to dig in to fix this. That's all I'm going to say. You got to dig in to fix this. You got to, like you dig in with bodybuilding, you got to dig in with detoxification. Give it the same level of passion and focus. Forget about the other stuff for now, because it don't matter if you really look good and you're losing your joints and your lower back and your kidneys and your knees are going and everything's going. That don't matter no more, right? Right, you want to fix it and then get yourself beautiful like that. And you will be a happy beautiful. See? You just have to take some time.
Fair dinkum.
Oh, yes.
See? And I generally feel tired. Well, you know where we're right at, don't you guys? 21-year-old, kidney. Look at the lymphatic system, the psoriasis. Look at the fatigue, that's the adrenal glands. So you see where we're going here, man? You fit right in with all the other ones, 21 years old. And this is what we've given you from our. I noticed a thinning spot on my hairline. Oh, yeah, 21 years old. See, and there's 21-year-old balding. So no, stop that. Stop that right now. And you got to spend some time, my dear one, getting yourself back into state of wellness. Then work out. State of wellness, you want to investigate the herbal side. The diet is going to be predominantly fruits, berries, and melons. You might start with a salad at lunch, kind of move into that, but you're already getting yourself focused because you want to get remedy. To get remedy, it's already stopped bleeding, but you want to keep pushing deeper into this world of lymphatic cleansing and kidney filtration if you want to be successful. Because I truly, after all these years, don't know how you're successful if you don't. And that's what raw food diets and herbs do. They get everything fixed and filtering, and you're hydrating again, as I've talked about in the beginning of this video, bringing in the alkaline chemistry. So you see, you have to take this thing. Should I do a grape fast? Yep. Yes, right here he's got it, right here. Perhaps what I need is your recommendation to guide me to the right path. A grape fast would be perfect. A 20-day grape fast, perfect. Add some lemons, like I said. Same with this other person. These are the ways that we get the kidneys to filter and we get the lymph moving, whether we're dealing with psoriasis or skin conditions, tumors. It don't matter what we're dealing with. It's the lymph system that holds the key. The blood is the blood. And it really doesn't eliminate. It cleans itself through the spleen and a little through the kidneys, but it really doesn't eliminate. You're dealing in elimination of byproducts of the body. It is the lymphatic system. It is the eliminator as well as the digestive waste of the GI tract. When I am 100% consistent with the fruit diet, my skin seems to get worse, and it will. Why though? Remember, why? It isn't the fruit making it worse. Fruit hasn't that ability to make it worse. Only from what? It increases elimination. It increases hydration and elimination. And that's why it looks worse. And I warn you all about that in the first place. It can look worse before it's better. But I show you Miss Philippines. I show you these people that were head to toe involved. And now beautiful, beautiful. And they went through it. They went through the same process. They looked worse before they got better. You tend to. You're walking backwards. Old haunts can come up too. Old weaknesses. Tumors can come up and down. Swellings up and down. I mean, there's nothing else. There's nothing else. You can feel a little better and half-ass do things, but it'll eventually get you. Winter makes it worse as well. Why? Alkaline. Whenever you hitch to the alkaline side, you see worse problems. No, you see better elimination. It doesn't look better, but you see better increased elimination. It's just that your kidneys aren't working for you, so your skin is your eliminative organ. Notice? You've got to get your kidneys filtering, and then that'll take the pressure off the skin, and everything will start cleaning up well. Again, at that time, you're going to get your pituitary up, which will get your thyroid up, which will get your body temperature up, will get your ability to sweat up. You still will look worse when you sweat, but that's how you find remedy. Like I said, you got to consider your body as an automobile that's been wrecked, that's been damaged, and you're going to put it in the body shop and rebuild it. And it's not going to look good for a while in the body shop because it's going to start cleaning itself. More stuff coming out, oozing more. Everything can be more. You could lose hair. Anything that's weak in your body, the body will tend, and that's why sometimes if you kick it up too fast, the body does tend to drop some of the weaknesses faster. You can lose hair, you can lose things. I've had people's teeth come out. They detox too fast. And they were all weak. Amazing, you know. That's 1 in a billion people, but I have seen it. But it's just that your body, you know, it's a big law of nature. The weak are consumed, the strong survive, the weak are consumed. And you just got to realize it. And that is true at the cellular level. So that's why my philosophy is simple. Clean and strengthen the human body. End of story. Clean it and strengthen it. End of story. Now, how do we do those two things? Cleaning is detoxification. That falls under the alkaline side of chemistry. Strengthening also falls under that side of chemistry and takes place when acid environments are removed. When corrosive environments are removed, then these more hydrated environments will create regeneration. It's that simple. It's a natural process. Yeah. So you're right, man. I need fruit. Even if it looks worse, you got to go through that. But when you get on the other side, you'll be given hugs and kisses, bro. I'm not sure what else to try. If I clean a clean human diet with lots of fruit isn't enough. Oh no, it's enough. But I would get on the herbs. You got to get your kidneys filtering. If you don't get your kidneys filtering, I don't know how to help you. Other than just keep pushing through the skin, and eventually, but you would have to be all raw to do that. I have it on my back, legs, yeah, all over basically. This is Dylan. Listen, my friend, you'll be okay, my man. But you got to get focused. Focus on your wellness first, and then focus on other things second. Because it's your health that is key here. And here's another 27-year-old with sensory processing disorder. I can go on just case after case after case after case. Well, we're going to hit that the next time I come in, but I have to go. And I'm going to have her put this on up, because it's a little video, and I'm doing a video in Spanish here at 2 o'clock. Perhaps after that I can come and start another one. But I want to get some of these up. But every day I can, I'm going to come in and do these videos. And try to get caught up, if I can get caught up. But I love you guys, and you all will be okay. We're here for all of you guys, and we've got all of our YouTubers are getting smart. I mean, there was a lot of you in the class that were healing people that others just dream of. You know, naturopaths go to school and get their degree, and you guys learning on the YouTube are healing people where they could never. And that is highly concernful for me as a naturopath. That we've lost naturopathy. You know, the negative forces have been strong and have tried to destroy truth. Well, we're here to say, not so fast, right? Not so fast. We are here to bring it, and we are bringing it and straightening some things out here that need to be straightened out. End of story. So, I welcome naturopaths to grow and learn. I think the Canadian naturopaths are going to outdo the American naturopaths like crazy. So, the American naturopaths better get your act together. Canadian naturopaths are learning the truth and kicking butt up there. I'm just saying. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Sorry for being so late on so much of these, but I tell you what, it's just we're busy. And this is why I'm really training you guys, because I saw this coming. I already knew all this, guys. And that's why I'm doing this. Because we need you guys out there to help. A lot of suffering young souls, and we need to fix them up. And a lot of suffering older people, too. There's a lot of older people that can have a great life if they just would. You know, sometimes your belief systems and your stubbornness can get in your way of joy and happiness. I would lose those things, and you know, get fluid with life. Life is fluid. Get fluid with life and spirit and the prana of the life force, and wake up. Wake up. Quit thinking. Love you guys. Be back.
Straight.
Yeah.